One of the worst crimes in human society is filicide, which is defined as a deliberate act by a parent towards killing their own child. However, the three monotheistic religions, that is, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, recognized that Prophet Abraham, peace be upon him, was ready to sacrifice his own son to God. The details of this incident are given in Bible's book of Genesis chapter 22 and verses 1 to 13. While secularists postulate the intentions of Prophet Abraham, peace be upon him, as near filicide, since he was ready to sacrifice his own son. Islam also recognized the sacrifice by Ibrahim, peace be upon him, to Allah of his own son. Quran's 37th chapter or surah as Safat, and verses or ayah 102 to 107 describe the details. And Muslims everywhere celebrate it as annual occasion called Eid al-Adha. Every year pilgrims to Mecca, Saudi Arabia, throw stones on three walls as a compulsory ritual of high emulation of the actions of the Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him. These stone walls represent the three locations where Ibrahim, peace be upon him, pelted the devil or Satan when he tried to dissuade him from sacrificing his son. The three locations and occasions pertaining this sacrifice by Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, are given in Musnad Ahmad Hadith number 4137. The sacrifice of his own son by Abraham, peace be upon him, has reportedly been used by some individuals to commit filicide. Raina Mercenina Thede of Australia stabbed to death 7 of her children on December 19, 2014. Claiming a dove's call was the sign from God that she must kill her children in order to save them. Fooled by the biblical teachings of a family friend and believing that the only way to save her children and prevent Satan from returning to earth was by killing them, Andrea Yates drowned her 5 children in the family's bathtub in the United States on June 20, 2001. Such parents have always been diagnosed to be suffering psychotic break and have been committed to mental health facility. Their filicide behavior was never justified as being genuinely inspired by religious teachings on Abraham, peace be upon him, as per the monotheistic scriptures. It is consensually understood that the intention to sacrifice his own son by Abraham, peace be upon him, was a result of test by God. God can test his prophets with some commands that are never expected to be obeyed by general society. Thus, prophetic tests or specific set of rules for hand-picked individuals were sacred historic events and are never applicable to general followers of the religion. In Islam, this scenario can be observed in the cases of inheritance and poetry that were prohibited for Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, but are allowed for general Muslims. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, couldn't leave inheritance for his children and couldn't compose poetry per Sunan Abi Dawud Hadith number 3641 and Quran's 36th chapter or Surah Yasin, verse 69, respectively. However, general Muslims are commanded to leave inheritance for their kids and are allowed poetry per Quran's 4th chapter or Surah Nisa, verses 11 to 14 and Sahih Muslim Hadith number 5887, respectively. Similar situation of specific command by Allah to his chosen messenger can be considered for the marriage of Aisha, peace be upon her, with Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. This specific prophetic command pertaining the marriage of Aisha, peace be upon her, is known per various Islamic references including Sahih Muslim Hadith number 2438. The historic record on the marriage of Aisha, peace be upon her, has been used by Indian politician and Bharatiya Janata Party or BJP's national spokesperson, Nupur Sharma, to make blasphemous statement against Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, on May 26, 2022. Muslims have been accused of endorsing child marriage and pedophilia. and such statements have been used by Islamophobes worldwide. Mr. Filicide, an Islamic public speaker, has presented a parallel comparison between the prophetic command to Ibrahim, peace be upon him, on sacrificing his son and Allah's instruction to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to marry Aisha, peace be upon her.
Question, especially in the West, okay, your prophet married a 9-year-old. So you have to actually naturally have a disposition that he's actually conflicting to the very pedestal of prophethood of our Prophet ﷺ. 9 साल की बच्ची से शादी करने के ऊपर एतराज़ हो रहा है हमारे मुसलमानों को, और इन्हीं मुसलमानों को कभी 6 साल के बच्चे को ज़बह करने पे एतराज़ नहीं हुआ. कभी
Sahih Muslim Hadith number 1421. The marriage in Islamic world is only possible after an adult bride provides her full consent. Therefore, it is preposterous to associate monotheism, and especially Islam, with filicide and pedophilia, since both historic sacred events are recognized as tests with specifically directed commands from the Creator to prophets.